pod? It's your boy Omar. We here solo today, but it's all good. You know, it's been a couple of days since the Magic got eliminated, and I had to sit and think about it a little bit before I said this. I wrote on it for Orlando Magic Daily, but the Magic have cap room. The Orlando Magic and the Philadelphia 76ers are the only teams. Well, Oklahoma to a certain extent, but are the only teams that have cap and are good and are in the playoffs. So the question is for the Magic is how do they move from here? I have my own opinion, but before I get to my opinion, I want to get into the other ideas that have been thrown around the league, other reports that have come around for what the Magic should do, and why I don't think that's the right way to do it. So let's start with Trae Young. So Trae Young, of course. Trae Young is a very, very elite player. I wouldn't mind if Trae Young ends up being in a Magic jersey, but in terms of understanding what Atlanta would want, you can't. This isn't 2K where you could get Trae Young for pennies on the dollar. No, the Atlanta Hawks really are in no rush to trade Trae. So it would cost a lot to get him, and I don't believe the Magic are in the idea to gut their roster for Trae Young, and then you end up being a team with a very, very, very top heavy, which we've seen already in these playoffs, end up losing. And I don't think that's what the Magic want to end up doing. You look at what happened to the Phoenix Suns, who were top heavy, what the Lakers, who are not properly built and are top heavy. You don't want to be in that situation, and that's particularly why I don't believe Trae Young, because I think at that point the Atlanta Hawks are going to demand one of like Jonathan Isaac or Jalen Suggs, and I just don't think at that point it's even worth it. Now, another name I've heard is Klay Thompson, and I think that's mostly coming out of Klay Thompson's camp for leverage, and I don't even believe that would be even that good of an idea, to be honest, because if you look at what the Magic weaknesses were, they were ball creation, and Klay Thompson does not do that for you. Klay Thompson is more of a guy that's just gonna be a catch and shoot, which is you have Klay Thompson at home essentially. You have Gary Harris, a more consistent Gary Harris is what you'll get for Klay Thompson for damn near $40 million a year, and I'm good. I don't think that's the right idea. I don't think that's the right way to go about things. No disrespect to the Klay Thompson player, but that's not the type of player you need. The Magic need this is where someone that you need to be able to stretch relief for Franz and Paolo, and that's what the Magic should be looking for. Yeah, ideally it would come in the form of a point guard, but Paul George is the name I believe Orlando should got. The Magic need. I implore Orlando to go get Paul George if he wants to sign with the Magic. And now the Clippers didn't want to sign him to max money, so now Paul George is likely to head into free agency. Now, for Philadelphia, if I can't bring myself to believe that if Paul George is leaving the Clippers, also the idea that Kawhi Leonard unfortunately can't stay healthy and hasn't been able to stay healthy for the last 3 years when it comes to the playoff time, I can't fathom why Paul George would then go to Philadelphia and then go play with Joel Embiid, who struggled to be healthy during playoff times. And again, injuries are part of the game, but I don't get why you would go to the center version of Kawhi Leonard. And that's just me. So then you bring the idea of the fact that logically it makes sense. All bias aside, it makes sense. The Magic are good, the Magic have cap, and you fit many needs that Orlando would need. The Magic needs shooting. Paul George is above a 40% shooter. Paul George can self-create. Paul George has shown the ability and willingness to play off the ball, and would allow Paolo and Franz to still have the ball in their hands, but still have that third guy that can self-create and semi-create for others. And I think for the short term, that is invaluable. Now, long term, Paul George would mentor Paolo and Franz, and I love Joe Ingles and what he's been able to provide as a veteran and as a leader to this young group, but also understanding that there's limits to that because there's levels to it in the NBA. Paul George is an all-NBA talent. That would do wonders for Paolo and Franz. that would also give time for Anthony Black and Jett Howard to come along slowly, not necessarily give them so much responsibility, because I believe Anthony Black is the point guard of the future. I've seen enough flashes out of AB to believe he's that guy. Jett Howard is going to be your scorer off the bench and be that shooter that the Magic also need this offseason. And you're getting these from ingrown pieces that I believe in. And that I think it just makes sense. And historically at that point, the Magic went and got Horace Grant to that Shaq and Penny team to take them to the next level. When the Dwight teams, they added Rashard Lewis in free agency. That got them to the next level. I don't see a reason why Paul George can't be that for this team, and why it doesn't, and why it wouldn't make sense. I think Paul George is the perfect fit. You would have the starting unit of Jalen, PG, Franz, Paolo, and Wendell. I think the team loses nothing defensively because Paul George is a very good defender at that. And then you'd be able to bring Jett Howard off the bench, Anthony Black off the bench. Because at this point, it's also who else you're bringing back. Cole Anthony, Markelle Fultz, and I'm not here to say who the Magic should and should not bring back. These questions fall on Jeff Altman and Anthony Parker. It's up to them to decide who they want to bring back. Because I love this team that we had last year, and the camaraderie and the team chemistry. Like, I adore it, but you have to remember the NBA is a business, and I can't. And the same 15-man roster never comes back twice. There's always going to be a shake-up here or there. Someone that wants to get more PT. Someone that wants a bigger role. It happens. And it's bound to happen. And I think now is Gary Harris coming back? Is Joe Ingles coming back? You know, who knows? But with that being said, I think you're able to make those decisions within. And in terms of trading assets, you don't trade anything to get Paul George because he's a free agent. And that ends up working better towards the Trae Young. And the self-creation is a better option than the Klay Thompson. And this should also be passing the torch to the young group once Paul George is ready to retire. And your other guys are ready. Anthony Black is ready to step into the point guard's position. At 6'7", you still never lose that size at the guard spot, which I also think is very important for this team's DNA that's been a defensive team with their size and length and athleticism. I truly believe this is the way. Of course, there's other avenues of Malik Monk. I don't believe Sacramento lets Malik Monk go. Nick Claxton has been a name I've heard, but if you're wanting shooting, I don't understand where you go from Wendell to Nick Claxton unless shooting's not that deep anymore. Hartenstein is another name I know. I don't think he leaves New York. The Magic already tried to overpay for Hartenstein last offseason. Didn't happen. But yeah, I believe Paul George is the way to go. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Who do you guys think the Magic should go after? Who do you want them to go after? Or do they stand pat? Let me know in the comment section down below. Thanks you guys for watching. See you guys next time.